Hi, and welcome to today's video. We're going to cover the effects of patch 12.14 and how it may change the meta or the landscape of pro play in the four major regions. Um, Little spiel, by the way, turn up the video. If you haven't watched my content before, I did just get a tooth pulled, so I'm not going to be very loud when I go over this. But the way I view it, I view patches black and white, buffs, nerfs. I know that not all buffs make a difference for pro play. I know nerfs don't make a difference for pro play all the time. But it's fun to just think about, what champions may or may not be put into the meta. What teams may have options that they didn't have before and who might be losing, key parts of what they pick in their drafts to get to the record they're at. So that's the point of this. In this video, you see the teams listed. They're all pretty relevant to their region. I didn't include teams that were in the gutter this time around because if they're out of the playoffs, it really doesn't matter. Like Ultra Prime is really happy about this patch, but they're not on here. TSM, really happy about this patch. They're not on here. So, LCK, DRX, very happy. They did not really pick Gnar and Gangplank all that much, and you may say, oh, well, they did here or they did there. If you're new to the channel and this series of videos that I do, I look at like the last couple of years to determine whether a player uses a champion or not. If they were willing to use it when it was off meta, they'll definitely maybe be, they will definitely at least probably consider using it when it becomes meta or it's been buffed. Now, if when it comes to nerfs, I count a nerf on here if the player used it a lot this split. Does it actually take something away from that team that they cannot use that champion or may not be able to use that champion as often anymore? Obviously, not all nerfs are going to kill a champion, but they might, right? That's what this is all about. Just, theory crafting. Comment down below with what champions you think that were affected by the patch may be part of the meta now. So DRX, Varus, and LeBlanc. Zika has played LeBlanc in the past, and Deft has surely played everything under the sun, so Varus falls under the sun. Gen G, same thing, Varus and LeBlanc. However, Gen G have used a lot of Gangplank, Gnar, Wukong, Yuumi, and Renata this patch. Not this patch, but this split. So all these champions are nerfed. How much does that affect Gen G going into the rest of the split? We'll find out. They're a veteran team. They can play a lot of different things. In my opinion, Chovy can play anything. Ruler can play anything. But things might change with these champions not being at their disposal. T1, they like picking the LeBlanc. Faker plays LeBlanc. However, they play Gnar, GP, and Seraphine. Seraphine was nerfed, and T1 were one of the teams that used it multiple times, I believe. So, that's a thing. LPL, Weibo are very happy. The LPL pretty happy about this patch. Weibo, J4 back into the meta. LeBlanc back into, well, not back into the meta, but J4 is buffed. LeBlanc is buffed. Varus is buffed. SFM might pull out a J4. Angel may play LeBlanc. RNG, J4 and Varus for Wei and Gala. JDG, LeBlanc and Alistar. Alistar was buffed. Now, I'm not an idiot. I know that a lot of these players play like Alistar. They play Gnar. They play Gangplank. So why aren't they listed on everything? Well, they didn't play them as much as other champions. They must not be as fond of them. Or they were being banned against them anyways. So now that they're nerfed, why the hell would they use them? It doesn't change why their record is the way it is. EDG, not happy about the patch. Gnar and GP banned for Flandre, and Varus is buffed for Viper. In the West, nobody's happy. BDS was happy, and BDS aren't relevant. So that's why there's no positive spiel for the West here. LEC, Gnar, Wukong, GP, Zeri, and Yuumi have all been used by Mad Lions quite a bit this patch. I said it again, damn it, this split. So Zeri, Yuumi for the bot lane. Might not be as much of an option now that Zeri's gutted, Yuumi's nerfed. Gnar and GP, Armat's got to play something else. Wukong, Elyoya's playing it a lot. Alistar is a champion for Kaiser that he's used in the past. G2, Gnar, GP, Wukong, and Zeri, all champions they've been using this split. Pantheon and J4 for Jankos are two champions to look at. I'm not an idiot. Caps plays LeBlanc. I should probably have written LeBlanc on here, to be honest with you, but it still would have been -4 versus +3, so obviously still negative viewpoint on the patch. But J4 and Pantheon for Jankos. Maybe Jankos can do a thing or two. Pantheon being buffed, I don't know if it'll become, a thing or not, but he played it more often than anybody else. And people are going to say, well, as X players played it, years ago, and it's like, yeah, well, I only looked at like the last 2 years probably. I think I looked at 2.5 years. I think I looked through all the way through 2020. But nevertheless, Rogue, Gnar, GP, Wukong, and Renata were all nerfed. Trimby playing Renata quite a bit, enough to lean on it, and now it being a problem that it's gone. Gnar, GP, Wukong, pretty standard for everybody. Varus, comp plays Varus. And Nocturne. Nocturne got buffed. And I really don't know how to feel about it. And people, actually, now that I just thought about this, I thought about it when I wrote it down. And I should have said it when this video started, but I am not restarting this video. Gnar and GP, when a champion is altered, adjusted, I mean, it could be buffed or nerfed. I'm going with nerfs on GP this time, and Aatrox and things like that. So if you think it was a buff, we may have, differing looks on it, which is fine. I'm not going to pretend like I know everything when it comes to the nitty-gritty of things like that. But that is why they are being listed the way they are, is buffed and nerfed, because in my opinion, when I just read over the patch notes, I was like, this seems like a nerf. But Nocturne, buffed. Nocturne, I guess, can do better against minions. Didn't say monsters, I don't think. That's why I put Nocturne down under solo lane instead of jungle, because it wasn't monsters listed, it was minions. And Odo has played a lot of Nocturne. Enough so to the point where I actually listed it. So it's an interesting little thing or tidbit. LCS 100 Thieves, Gnar, Wukong, Zeri, and Renata. So Zeri and Renata for FBI and Huhi. Someday Gnar and Closer Wukong. Closer plays J4. Sorry about the noise in the background. And FBI plays Varus. Lastly, C9, Fudge plays Gangplank, Berserker plays Zeri, and Sven plays Yuumi, all three champions that are nerfed. And then Jensen plays LeBlanc a lot, actually, so that's a buff for them. Comment down below with your opinions on this patch. How do you think it will affect the meta, if at all? What champions specifically do you think might actually, change things? I know we discussed it this morning in the chat, because Zeri doesn't get picked very much in the LPL anymore. It gets left up, despite it being pretty dominant, and it's because Sivir has now taken over against Zeri, having a positive win rate, which I'm not going to gloat or nothing, but I called it. So, it's kind of one of those deals. So, comment down below with your opinions. Thank you for watching. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. And hope you stick with me.